I think when people hear this, they think, well, so I'm just going to talk to myself about this. No, let me tell you. Let me give an example of how important I think this is at a couple of different levels. You can think about something in your mind, but until you role play this out in the different roles within this and force yourself to articulate those positions, to pass the judgment, to render the opinions, to do the things, until you force yourself to crystallize this and put it into complete sentences, you just kind of vaguely go through this. And I think one of the best examples is when you train children what to do if someone tries to snatch them at the park or whatever, and you tell them they need to fall to the ground and start yelling for help and kicking and screaming. The research is very clear. Unless they've practiced that, unless they've actually done it, the chance of them following through and doing it for the first time ever in their life when it really happens is practically zero. But if you've gone out in the yard with them and they've actually done it 10 or 12 times, the chance that they'll actually do it when it happens goes up exponentially because they're not going to freeze up. It's the first time they're going to do it. They've actually got a muscle memory and they go through this. And if you actually go through this Miracle Trial app and you're forced to actually make the argument in each of these positions where it's cognitive dissonance, it's you have to argue the other person's side, the other person's position, it takes down the resistance to those positions and it causes you to really open, I think it causes you to open up your mind so much, but more importantly, as importantly, your brain starts to have a different alignment neurotransmitter-wise. It changes your brain chemistry. This isn't just going through a silly game-playing exercise. I believe if we get to the point, and I don't know how far you've gone in this, but I would bet all I could gather that there are changes in brain chemistry when people go through this process.
Yeah, I think there are too, but that area of brain study needs to be done, right? That has not happened. And we very much would like to get to that level where we can watch what's happening inside somebody's brain when they go through this trial process. Because, what we do know, I can tell you from without the brain scans, I can tell you that the grievance expression, we've been able to measure that, and that shoots up. We're able to measure grievances, and just remembering and describing a grievance that you have, sends your desire for revenge soaring. I mean, it just absolutely goes bonkers. It goes to its maximum. And we've also been able to measure what happens at the end of the trials. And at the end of these trials, your revenge cravings are back almost to where they were at baseline, very low compared to when they're inflamed from having experienced or having related what happened to you. So I think that you're right. We have good outside of the brain evidence that there are changes, just as you've described, but we really need the brain scanning evidence to kind of put a finer point on it.
The important thing is people should look at this as you said it's not a weakness. This is an empowerment. This is people taking back their power, where right now, if they're in this revenge addiction, they've given their power away to the perceived perpetrator, to the aggrieved party. And there are so many children that grew up in abusive homes or got into the hands of pedophiles or worked for a toxic narcissist in the workplace or were in a domestic violence situation or whatever, that are very real. They have been through trauma. These are very real things that they don't know where to go with these feelings. But seeking revenge for them won't heal the feelings. But getting these toxic feelings out, the one thing I wanted to say before that I've heard so many people misconstrue is when you forgive these feelings, that's not the same as saying what happened is okay, that I now accept this. That's not what we're saying here. That's not what forgiveness says. You're not saying, well, okay, that's okay now. I've by forgiving that, what you did is okay. You can forgive them and put them in prison for 40 years at the same time. You're not saying it's okay. You're just saying, I refuse to let it dominate my life from this point forward. I'll let God deal with judgment. I'm not going to be locked into this prison with you from now on. We're not asking them to say it's okay. We're just asking them to say, I'm not going to be held in prison with you anymore about it. I'm letting it go. Forgiving is not endorsing it or saying it's okay.
That's right. It's never condoning it. And I'm glad you made that powerful point. That's exactly correct. Just as we said, you don't need to tell the person who wronged you that you're forgiving. You don't need to in any way imagine that what they did wasn't wrong, or in any way to believe in yourself or to express to them that it was okay. It wasn't okay. Obviously, it wasn't okay. You're making this decision to say that that pain that you inflicted on me in the past, that's not going to hurt me anymore. I'm done with it. I'm going to put an end to it now. That past is in the past, and I want it to live there. I don't want it to live and infect my present life or my future, which is what ends up happening to so many people. And they carry it forward. It harms them. They re-injure themselves each day that they remember the trauma. And then they're also caught up in the pain of these revenge cravings that are going to ruin their lives going forward as well. And we really do have some powerful tools now that can free people of these wrongs of the past. And that's one of them. And then, as I said, these addiction treatment strategies and prevention strategies that professionals can use with you are also available so that they can work on it from potentially both sides, right? The forgiveness side and the addiction control side, where they can work on helping you resist, overcome, and shut down harmful cravings that will hurt you and other people.
This is not letting them off, it's letting you off. And that's the point. We're not letting them off, we're letting you off. The book is The Science of Revenge, Understanding the World's Deadliest Addiction and How to Overcome It. And let me just tell you, Dr. Kimmel is not coming at you with some egg-headed theory here. You're looking at the cover of the book right now. He's not coming at you with some theory here, which you think, oh yeah, this is great theory if you're some academician or something. That is absolutely not the case. I've read it twice and then studied different parts of it. But like the table of contents, for example, the deadliest addiction, quest to find a killer. This is your brain on revenge. This is what revenge addicts want you to know. These are the screams of revenge addicts in pain. These are the deadliest revenge addicts in human history. Adolf Hitler was one of that's on that list. You'll read the others. This is America on revenge. This is humanity on revenge. This is your brain on forgiveness. This is how to kick the revenge habit. This is the non-justice system for setting yourself free. And in the conclusion, a revenge recovery story. Dr. Kimmel has a very powerful story of his own, which he shares. He even talks about how lawyering can be legal bullying. And this is all applied. This isn't some theory that's for academicians. This book is written for you and me and your children and everybody, because we're all subject to this. This is just human nature, right, Doctor?
That is correct. We are born with it, all of us. Revenge seeking is not an abnormal behavior. It is not a mental illness. It's not pathological in its own right. It becomes that way if you start to do it despite knowing of the negative consequences to you and other people. That's when it becomes dangerous. So the desire to retaliate, think about it, fantasize about it, that's natural. Going out, getting a gun and gunning down a bunch of people, that's pathological. It's pretty straightforward that way.
That's where we move something into the addiction category. Think about alcohol or drugs. If you do it and it is self-destructive, it's destroying your family, it's destroying your job, it's destroying your relationship with your children, it's destroying your life, but you continue to do it anyway. Now we know you're not controlling it, it's controlling you. That's when it's crossed over the line. That's what's happening with revenge in too many lives in our society and in this country. And I'm going to politic and push on this until it's part of the curriculum with kids. If you teach them this early, they can stop it early, and it needs to be part of the model that's used with health caregivers. It needs to be part of the curriculum in school, and we're going to keep beating a drum on this. I think Dr. Kimmel's going to think I'm a stalker because I'm pushing on this hard, and I just think it's really, really important. And I've endorsed the book, and I continue to think it's just very, very important work. So I'm going to continue to push on it, and so we're going to stay on top of this, right?
You bet. And, I'm honored to have your endorsement on this book. I mean, right there on the back cover, and to have your support, Dr. Phil, has been fantastic. You're a leading voice in this, and you're kind of perfectly positioned to be that voice because you're that perfect intersection between psychology and America. And that's what we need right now, is somebody who can translate this stuff directly into human lives. And you've just been such a great gift to America for being able to do that. So thanks for partnering with me on this.
Well, I'm proud to do it, and I look forward to our next chapter on this. Doctor, thank you so much. We'll talk soon.
Fantastic.